Alternative. I'm William Cook, and I'm here to share my thoughts on the latest album from Belmont with Aftermath. Now, Aftermath is the sophomore album from Belmont. They're a Chicago progressive pop punk band, easycore. This is my first album with this group, and I have a track-by-track review for you. Now, my last video talking about albums was a weekly album roundup of some albums from the week of February 25th, and I said with that video, hey, I'm gonna start doing weekly album roundups. And that was taking a step back from doing monthly album roundups, but I'm taking an even further step back and scrapping the album roundups maybe altogether. Because I've kind of realized that these albums that I'm trying to squeeze into these roundups, I have enough to say about each of them for their own reviews. I can't help myself but get kind of into a track by track kind of review when I do share my thoughts on these albums. It's hard for me to just kind of sum them up in a few words. So I decided instead of making a 20-30 minute video covering 3, 4, 5 albums, just focus on one album at a time. And I'm sure in the future there will be albums that I don't have time to put together a full review for, and then maybe those albums I'll just kind of squish together in a roundup format type of video. But outside of that, I think I'm just gonna try and focus on doing single album reviews. Yeah, with my reviews, I like to give a little bit of attention towards each song of the album. So yeah, it's gonna be a track by track review. And I'll tell you, I got a bunch to say about this latest album from Belmont, my first with this Chicago band. So I can't tell you much about their sophomore album, but I know their most popular single is the song Overstepping, and I'm just finding out now, looking on their Spotify, that song's not even on their debut album. It's on the 2016 EP, Between You and Me. And I have listened to that song. My friend sent it to me saying, hey, if you know Belmont, you know, this is the song, this is their big single. And I didn't even recognize the song. I had never heard it. And yeah, it was very technical, lots going on within the song. From what I've heard, I believe a lot of their earlier stuff is in that direction. Very technical and progressive leaning with lots going on instrumentally. And I found from listening to Overstepping, it was kind of like, hey, this sounds good, but yeah, it's a little much. And their sophomore album here, you get tastes of that for sure. That's why I call them progressive pop punk. You're gonna hear a lot of that technical guitar work and drums. These guys do have a very progressive leaning side to their sound, but they reel themselves in enough for a more melodic focused listener like myself to really be able to grab onto a lot of this stuff. Man, I'm excited to share my thoughts on each of these songs. One thing I just wanted to mention too, you might notice here, I've got this big old mic protector. What do they call them? A pop screen for the microphone. I've been finding in a lot of my videos, yeah, this cheap ass mic I've been using without the pop screen, I tend to get some pops in there. So I'm hoping this guy will help remove any of those. Yeah, it's kind of big and obnoxious and I don't love the look of it, but we'll see. I'm going to be upgrading the microphone in the future. Along with other things. I got a lot of upgrades to do with my channel, but bear with me. So let's dive into the album. It opens up with Fully Sent. The song opens the album with such a great intensity. The chorus is so sharp and so catchy, and they come into the song with it pretty much right off the bat, and it really grips me in right away. They ease off the gas for the verse before quickly building back up, and then they cut it all away for that one bar, leaving just the echoing vocals and the keys before slamming into that chorus. It hits me in the gut, and it is just so catchy and so much force behind that delivery. I really love the inflection with the I never meant, and originally I felt like the song was struggling to really break into anything really exciting, but I just find myself getting pulled into it every time. That hook really comes through with so much strength, and it makes for one hell of an open to this album. And then we have Parasitic. It was my first song with the band. I did a reaction for that one. And I'll tell you, I love the delivery of the verses, notably the opening verse. The way they bring in the screams and it just builds up the intensity before breaking into that chorus. They give us some Linkin Park turntable type scratches leading into the final chorus. And while that hook doesn't really rise to any levels of amazement for me, it comes in fierce and hard, and it really has that grit to keep me hooked in. Now, Bowser's Castle, this was actually the lead single, but I don't think I heard it until the album actually came out. Following the aggressive Parasitic, I find the shift of mood works really well with the more emotive chorus. It is such a catch, and it shows off more vulnerability, more feeling behind the instrumentals. The final stretch of the song goes insane with the chugs, the blasts of double kick, and shredding guitar. And it's a brilliantly done music video as well, putting the band members into this old school style video game. And the chorus, it is bleak. A lot of this album is pretty bleak. And while there's plenty of catch to it and it's strong with the feeling, I do find the lyrics can feel a little clumsy, and it doesn't make for the easiest sing-along. I'd say that's the only thing about it that's really holding it back from being that perfect 4 for me. And track number 4, Pain Now, it takes a slow instrumental open, but it rips into another infectious and jabbing chorus that will make for a fun rager at the live shows. You get some rap inclusions from frontman Taz Johnson that are super impressive. And then the barking growl breakdown after the 2-minute mark, absolutely wicked. And I like how they give us a little bit of focus on just the melody itself at the end of the song, with the more stripped down, soft sung chorus to finish off the song. In My Skin, just further showing of the band's knack for these sharp hooks and these slick riffs. The verses on this one have a notably strong pull. You get a bit of a dreamier showing in the bridge before it heads back into one final heavy-handed chorus. And yeah, In My Skin completes the first 5 songs that just have this album off to a tremendous start. At this point in the album, they've given me nothing but these hard-hitting, melodically strong tracks that all feel like they should be staples on the live set. But then we get something a little bit different with Country Girl. This right here is the most feel-good, fun moment of the album. The chorus is an instant catch, and if you can get over the corny, cliche lyrics and just not try and take this song too seriously, I think you should have a lot of fun with this one. It's an absolutely anthemic sing-along of a hook. It feels like a country song gone easy core. The lyrics in the verses are pretty silly, and the catch is just so strong throughout. And while the bridge does feel a little bit familiar, it complements the song wonderfully, and it's really one of the moments of the song that I find myself looking forward to the most. And really just one of the sweetest, feel-good, and downright addicting songs I've heard this year. Now, it's not the strongest start to the album's second half with Top Gun. This is where we get a showing of the band's more technical side. The song actually makes me think of the progressive-leaning band Capstan. And while the instrumentals are impressive, the chorus just does not pull me in quite like the choruses of the other songs. We get the trap-fused slow song with 4 a.m. Disappear. You know, with those trap inclusions, it's another one that has me comparing them to another band, that band being Driveways. While not the most riveting song of the album, it is very moody, and it does rip open for the final stretch, giving us about the most open display of emotion of the album. Moving into the final 4 songs of the album, we get Never Found, which is definitely on the weaker side of this album. We get some lighter vocals from Taz in the verses, who is still developing as a vocalist. You know, he's got that jabbing, harsher delivery down, but you can kind of tell he's not quite as comfortable with the softer, more clean sung delivery. I'm not sure how interested he is in pushing his vocal range, but I'm sure it would help in diversifying their sound if he was able to pull off some stronger cleans. The chorus of this song, it is hard, but it is just another one that kind of lacks on the melodic side. But I do find this one to be notable for the kind of stinging guitar licks that really give it that extra bite. Then Guilt Trip, solid song, good chorus. It's really about the least notable song when it comes to pros and cons. Crunchy verses, smashing chorus, love me the forceful double kick in the bridge. But yeah, nothing much else I feel worth noting about this one. But then we have What I Lack, and this song right here, this is the absolute peak of the album. It was the second single that I heard before coming into the album, made my best of February. This is Belmont at their best. You know, the songs that are going to be sticking with me till the end of the year, the songs that when it comes to putting together my top 100 of 2022, they're the songs that have me singing along from start to finish, and this one has me hooked throughout. From the synth and guitar-led intro, to the tight and anticipation-building verses, to the cutting aggression and inspirationally fueled chorus, it has quickly made its way up to being one of the most rewarding listens for me of the year, and I really do expect this one to be a high contender for my top 100 of the year. And then we get the album closer, Advanced Darkness. I find with this one, what's a bit noteworthy about it is the synthwave type keys that I find really complement the album's spacey aesthetic. It's another chorus that doesn't pull off anything too special, but I do like the more hopeful lyrics. And the highlight of this song comes with the instrumental breakdown at the 2:15 mark, comes through with a massive force. And yeah, I find it's just a fitting closer. It finishes the album with the line, retry to focus now on better days. We hear lots of struggle within the words of the songs throughout this album. I'm happy to hear them finishing things off with a little bit more hope in sight, leaving the bad behind and focusing on a better future. They got me having such a great time with this album. Hard-hitting, melodic, sharp, punchy, tight, aggressive, emotional. All the stuff you're gonna hear me saying about the music that I love the most, and I think these guys just pull it off so well here. They've got some growing to do. I'm really excited to watch this band continue to develop, and I know that they've got so much more to give us. But I mean, they're already killing it with their sophomore album here. I've rated each track, I've crunched the numbers, and it ends up with a final rating of 8.2. So that's gonna wrap this review up. Thanks for checking it out. Love a thumbs up if you like what you saw. Hit the subscribe for more alternative content, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of the latest album from Belmont. Love to chat. I'll see you next time.